It's a device that makes a speaker out of anything.
So what are you showing here?
I get something damaged in this section here. I just pop it off.
What?
And then I put a new one on.
You've got another teeny tiny little speaker here. Money's no object. You're in charge. What's the piece of like neat AV technology that you want to bring in? Just everybody should have this. It's so cool.
Welcome to the Beyond the Breaker podcast.
But yeah, Jason, you're going to show us some cool stuff today.
Yeah, I got a couple of things.
You are going to show us that.
Yeah. Before we tuck into that, give us just like a high level overview. Why are you the subject matter expert here today?
The chops, obviously.
Not sure about that.
Yeah.
I guess I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it for like 25 years.
Yeah, that counts.
So, yeah.
Okay. A little bit familiar with what we're going to be working through.
Yeah, I've gone through some of this stuff before.
Awesome. So if folks are just listening today, I think we're going to have a couple of really cool visual elements today. So if you have an opportunity, check out the video for this thing. But if not, we'll try and do our best to describe what's happening here. Jason,
Some play-by-play.
maybe more color commentary.
Sure.
But Jason, why don't you just roll in? Like you brought a few things today.
Yeah.
What's one of the things you want to show?
All right. So the first thing I brought, these transducer speakers. So what these are is this is a speaker that makes, it's a device that makes a speaker out of anything. So you can make a table a speaker, a window a speaker.
How about a cat?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It won't sound very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've got this like little doodad here on the table, and it looks like, I don't know, like a suction cup thing or...
Yeah. So what ends up happening with this is it gets glued to whatever surface you want to glue it to. That way it stays.
Is it permanent?
Yep. Well,
Or
it should be.
As it's glued there.
Yeah. You don't want it falling off, because sometimes you can glue it like, say, behind a wall. So onto a piece of sheetrock on the backside or
Yes.
plywood or whatever you've got.
Are these legal?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least in this state, maybe not in the state of California.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Miking up rooms behind the wall. Okay.
And you got a couple of them there.
Yep, I got a couple of them.
So is that like a viable substitute for like a stereo presentation, left channel, right channel?
Yep. Yeah, this is hooked up in a stereo pair. I've actually used them in the past for surround speakers on a surround sound system. So as a hidden installation, and we had coffee tables on either side of the couch. And so instead of having speakers in the walls or in the ceiling, we just turned the coffee tables into our rear speakers.
Where did you place that on the coffee table?
It was inside the coffee table.
Inside the coffee
Yep,
table.
so you didn't
see it.
Yep.
Okay.
Never saw it, but you could hear it because it's, I don't know, vibrating and making that noise as a speaker.
It gave you that surround sound effect.
Could you still set your coffee on there, or would the thing vibrate like the T-Rex scene from Jurassic Park?
Yeah, it would probably vibrate just a little bit. Yeah.
Man.
And what's the output of these? I mean, noise level wise, these look fairly heavy duty. They're kind of small, but they look legit.
It depends on the size of whatever it is you have them connected to. So the larger the size,
Sure. So it's okay.
the more it'll move.
So if we put it on a coffee table, smaller overall volume, as opposed to like a large panel of glass.
Yeah. You'll be able to get more volume out of a large piece of glass than you would a coffee
So
table.
for folks that are listening, like these are, I'm going to say like a half a soda can kind of volume. So it's not real big, and the mounting surface is probably only about a 3 or 4 inch diameter. So these things are pretty dang small. You can put them lots of places.
Yeah. Yeah. They're good. They're good if you want to hide your audio.
Okay. And do we do anything with these commercially, or is this just like something that we do for some of our limited energy residential customers?
Well, and we've used them commercially as well. So we had the Timberwolves. We put some in the owner's suite. So they were in the bathroom area, and then in some of the areas that the main speakers didn't cover. So we were able to cover those areas.
Just can't take a second away from the game. Just got to hear what's going on.
Love it. Love it.
So we used some there. We did a bar called... we did a bar.
One that serves.
Yeah. And we did some in the walls there. So they didn't want to see the speakers because they had this ceiling that had all these lighting effects on it.
Sure.
So we put them behind the walls there.
We definitely need to get a live demo of this thing. So Jason's going to demo those transducer speakers, and he's going to put them on a really good surface. Because I guess, the smoother the better. And it's a large panel of glass. So Jason's going to do that. He's going to hit the play button, and...
Way louder.
It is so... And the
if you look from the other side, it's quite the scene. But
you just got some weird guy holding speakers. That is awesome. That's fantastic. And Ben's going nuts with the camera.
and this is why you have to use glue, because you can't have somebody standing in a concert holding these.
I'll just hold these here, Bob.
Well, and the way we done it is we
You put them down
right
low.
at the bottom of the window. Where you could,
Yeah.
you put a plant or something in front of it,
Yeah.
and it heats up the whole window.
Yeah, that is so great.
Like, how far away can you be?
Title drums. Is that what they call?
Anything else you want to say about transducer speakers? What are those called?
Yeah, they're called transducer speakers.
Excellent.
Yep, there's multiple different manufacturers. These happen to be by Revolution Acoustics.
Sure. All right. If we're going to move on from some of those really cool speakers, I'm actually in love with them, if you can't tell. You were going to talk to us a little bit about some LED panels.
Yeah.
Kind of lay some groundwork there. And if you've got more show and tell, bring it on.
Yeah, I do. So LED panels, it's a newer technology. It's come down in price quite a bit in the last couple of years. It's similar to what they use on billboards along the highway. So
Okay.
we also have them in our conference rooms at the office. It's just a tighter pixel pitch. So there's less distance between the pixels in, say, our boardroom than there is along
On
the
a
highway.
billboard. Okay.
Yep.
And what they're doing there is having different colored LEDs, and they drive those so that it makes nice pictures for us.
Mm-hmm.
They do animations too, because I know folks that are familiar with our new office, there's that area kind of in our reception where they have some of that. Cool.
So, being in the industry for a while, let's talk about a sports arena, right? And the scoreboard, but also the ring of LED panels.
Mm-hmm.
How many of, gosh, I don't even know how to, grammar's really tough today. How many arenas across the country would you say have since transitioned to the LED panels now, as opposed to what used to be there? Would you say like everything?
All of them.
They
yeah,
all have.
Yeah,
okay.
that's anything that's got a decent sized screen. That's what they're switching to. It's just it's become more price effective than using a projector.
Yeah,
in a lot of scenarios.
When did that transition happen? Do you think? When was everybody kind of saying like, it's
go time.
out with the old and with the new?
It's been happening over the last 5 years, and as the price comes down, more people are buying into it too. Yeah. So.
And one of the things, those of us old enough to remember incandescent bulbs, one of the advantages for LEDs is they don't get as hot. They use a whole lot less power, and that energy isn't converted to heat as much. So like, it feels like there would be a ton of advantages, like if you're carting these around the country in some sort of concert stadium tour. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Are we doing anything else with them as far as like portability goes?
We do have some that we've recently installed, and they were poster boards. So they were on a little mobile cart, and they had a digital signage player right on them. And it was a poster board, and it would just say, hey, here's your lunch menu for today, or whatever you want to put up on there. And it was portable, so they could move it around and put it in different locations.
Awesome. Awesome. Anything else you want to cover about LCD panels, or make sure that we understand, or ask more questions about?
Well, I do have one I can show off.
Let's bring it out. Do it.
Right.
All right. I have no idea how the editing is working for this show, but here we are. We are back in it one more time.
Welcome to the nightclub, everybody.
So this is a direct view LED panel, and the way these are built is they're built to connect together. So you take multiple panels,
assemble them in an array.
Yep, they've got pins here.
Yep.
And then they got sockets here. So you can connect them all together, and then you can screw them down. So this becomes, you can put as many of these as you want together.
Wow.
To create an image.
And for folks who are just listening, Jason's holding this panel that's, I'm going to call it nominally about the size of a large computer monitor. And, sitting this close to it about 3 feet away, it's not razor sharp like new computer monitors are.
Yep.
But if you're back 10 feet from this, or 100 feet or 500 feet in a huge stadium, this is remarkable.
Yeah, and that has to do with the pixel pitch, and that's the distance between the pixels here. So as it gets tighter, these get more expensive, but you get a lot better pitching.
So what are you showing here? Like how is this displaying, and from where are you getting?
So this has got a built-in player in it, so it's just playing some demo material off of this. So this is the main processor. You can hook as many of these panels as you want in here, and then you can daisy chain them between the panels. So this will do a pretty large wall. If you're stepping up a size, then you've got to go for a larger processor.
Sure.
So if we're showing a live concert going on where they have the lead singer on and he or she takes up 64 of these panels all put together, that's just a camera feed into this box here. And then you have the setting to show it on all 64 because they're all connected. Got it.
Yep. Yeah. All the programming is done in here.
And
So
that
the
little
really
tiny
neat
box.
thing about these versus a regular display is, say as I get something damaged in this section here, I just pop it off
What?
and then I put a new one on. So
Can I have
You
that?
just
a lot easier to service.
wow.
Yep,
Holy
and,
crap.
And back here in this frame,
Can you then fix this?
yes.
Or
Yep.
is it okay?
Yep, these will get sent back to the manufacturer, and
They
they'll
can refurbish, repair, or
yep,
whatever's
they'll
needed.
refurbish and repair because these have a certain color temperature to them, and so they want to make sure that you retain that
Yeah.
in any repairs. So you get a percentage of extra pieces and parts each time you get one of these.
Interesting. So, like, you just snapped off, 1/8 of that panel, and it went dark. Now you just snapped it back in, and it's essentially like a seamless picture again,
Yep.
and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, and when you put these walls together, you want them on because as you're putting them in, you're making sure everything
You want to
fits.
see it? Yeah.
And there's no bad pixels. So as you're putting it in, you're kind of quality controlling it.
Do you have to wear like SPF 50 and some sunnies when you're putting it in?
It does get really bright.
I
Yes.
believe
Wait.
it.
Let's say this is displayed up on a wall that's not reachable, and one of them goes out. Can somebody program this or get into a computer to fix that live, or no? Or is it just kind of out?
Ooh.
Yeah. Sometimes the connections, because you can pop these off, so sometimes these connections will go bad, and that you'll have to tap it a little bit to get it to come back
Gotcha.
on. And sometimes that's all it is.
Somebody might just have to get up on the catwalk and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody will have to get up there and actually get their hands on it
Physical
a lot of the
labor.
time. Yep.
Yes. That is super cool.
Sweet.
Ballpark, real expensive, kind of expensive, or pretty affordable these days? Because you talked about the price coming
Yes.
down.
Yes. And as you, like I said, as you go down in pixel pitch, as the pixel pitch gets tighter, they get more expensive. Yep. And so a couple years ago, you could get a video wall of, say a 16 foot by 9 foot video wall was
Sure.
$100,000.
Sure.
It's come down quite a bit since then.
Half?
Under half.
Wow.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Time to put those in everywhere. Everywhere, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need one at my desk. I'm gonna need one.
Very cool. Very cool. You've got another teeny tiny little speaker here.
Yeah.
Walk us through what that thing is.
So what this is it's a K-array speaker. So it's actually a line array is what they call it. So a line array is if you go to a concert and you see all the speakers that are all in a line,
Uh-huh.
that's a line array. So this is a miniature version of that.
And for the non-audiophile, why do we have line arrays? What do they do for us?
So it gives you a better coverage. So if you've got a large crowd, it's covering that crowd really well.
Gotcha.
And the
Okay.
angle of it allows you to cover, anyone up close plus push sound way to the back.
Awesome. And now the one you're holding is, I'm going to call it about 1.5 inches wide and maybe 7-8 inches tall. What is that one for?
So this one you can use a whole lot of different places. So you can either do it on wall, so you can mount it on the wall,
Sure.
or they have an in-wall version, so you can flush it up to the wall as well.
Very nice. And the one you're holding has Velcro on it. What's that about?
Well, this one is installed at our office, so I pulled it out. So right now we're missing a speaker.
Somebody's meeting's not going well.
We just got some Velcro there. Nice.
So the cool thing about this is I can pop off the grill. So I just popped off the front grill, and it's got a bunch of little speakers in
Yeah,
it.
that's that line array
This is
that
the
you're
line
referring
array
to.
I was talking about. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
And I know we've got those in a couple of places in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Those speakers hum. They kick out a lot of volume,
Yes.
despite being tiny like that.
Yes. And they make these even smaller. There's one that's like postage stamp size. And they show this one at the shows that we go to, and it's incredible. You always have to pair these with a subwoofer
Sure.
because
sure.
these just can't reproduce the bass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they won't have that tonal range.
Yep. But when you do pair them with the subwoofer, they just sound incredible.
Several different brands of these. I'd imagine.
So this is a very specific brand. So this is KRA.
Okay.
Like the letter K.
The letter K.
Uh-huh.
And they do speakers that look like this. They also do one it's like a flexible snake. They call that one, I believe it's the anaconda. And so that one you can put in
Good marketing
spaces.
team there.
Yeah. You can put in spaces where other speakers can't go. So it's a very unique speaker.
And you, for that one, like you just have to connect it to a wired audio signal.
Yep. It connects
Powering
directly
it remotely.
to an amplifier right there. And it's a specific amplifier because you want to have the specific frequencies go to the speaker.
I will trust that that's true.
I will too.
And for folks listening to this or watching this, what kind of you said it's a fairly unique speaker. It's massively heavy despite its small size. What kind of applications are you seeing folks use this in? Where are you guys selling and installing this?
So we've actually installed them alongside of some video walls. So you put it right along the video wall. It's got a very nice thin profile to it. So it's not like you've got this big, massive speaker, and it covers the room extremely well.
So you can put up that fancy video wall, kind of combine this with it, and you're still like focusing the attention on that video display, but more immersive environment that way.
Yep, and
Very
and
cool.
you can hide these all over the place, and that's what they'll show. Like if you look on their website, they've got them hidden all over the place. They'll have a picture of a room, and the room's completely filled with audio, and it's just because there's these little speakers.
And like some of those postage stamp ones you talked about too.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Because I'm always interested in like, what does this technology cost, and is it accessible to us regular folks?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what the K-Array speakers might go for.
So the K-Ray speakers are going to be a little bit more expensive than your conventional speaker, just because you're paying for that small form factor.
Yeah, it looks great.
But for what you're paying and what it sounds like, you're definitely getting your money's worth.
And are we in like the couple few $100 range? Are we talking thousands? If somebody wants to incorporate in their like home theater?
Yeah, you can get into these for a pair would be under $1,000.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just kind of an interesting price point there. Those are cool.
But a pair of them does more than enough to cover a large conference room.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have these in our
Price is justified in that sense.
Yeah, we have these in our the golf simulator room, and they cover that room with no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, right on. Jason, you talked about some things that we aren't currently doing, but kind of looking into some of the cutting edge stuff. You talked about, I think it was called Holoplot.
Yes.
Unpack that a little bit.
So Holoplot, it's the speaker technology that they're using in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Oh, have you been?
I haven't actually been there. I've seen it from the outside, but I've never actually
That's
gone
got to
in.
be on your bucket list, right?
It is. I want to go there at some
Okay.
point for sure.
Okay, so this giant, huge, monstrously expensive thing, what do they... Yeah, keep going.
Inside behind the video, because that's all video screens as well. On the inside, it's LED video screens, and behind that, it's actually transparent to the audio. They've got 186,000 speakers.
Wait. 186,000 speakers.
Yeah, of these Holoplot speakers.
Yeah, that feels like a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what they can do with that system, though, is I was talking about the line arrays and how this is aimable and how it covers the crowd well.
Sure.
What they can do with that is they can focus it down. They can pinpoint it. So if I'm sitting here and you're sitting there, I want to hear the English soundtrack, but you love to listen to the German one, they can do that. So they can split the audio out. So I'm just hearing the English and you're just hearing the German.
And we're less than 5 feet away right now.
Yeah.
And they can pinpoint...
You went over here? Sorry.
No, it's extremely
So
focused.
confused.
Holy... Okay, so that sounds neat from like look what we can do.
Yeah.
Are there practical applications?
Yeah, the practical application is you go to a regular concert venue and they've got the music blaring at you. Everybody's got to wear earplugs.
Sure.
In that venue, you don't have to wear earplugs because it's focalized to your space. It's not trying to blast sound throughout the entire arena. So
Oh man.
you get to listen to it at a better volume, and you're hearing a better representation of what's going on.
Yeah, because if you're not wearing earplugs that are going to filter out some of those highs, like you're going to get a more broad audio spectrum. I don't know the right way to say that.
Where are these speakers located then?
So they're
If you're 10 feet away and you have separate audio coming to each other, like where are they? And how do you choose that I want German and I want English?
I don't know the specifics on that. No, I'm not
Like
sure.
you fill out a form.
Yeah,
before
they
you
might
get
do
there?
it. They might do it by section, is what
Yeah.
they might do. So, but it's not that they're doing it for every show, but they can do that with that
that.
with
Yeah.
that system.
that complexity exists.
Yeah.
And you said earlier they're behind that sort of LED panel, which is acoustically transparent.
Yep.
So the sound is going to come through that. I'm watching something that's really interesting. It's not interrupting. It's not putting gaps in. I don't have dead spots. The screen is continuous, and I'm getting incredible sound.
Yeah. And they can localize it too. So if something happens over on this part of the screen, everybody hears it coming from that location.
This is like the idea of a sphere is like truly surround sound.
It is.
That
it is.
sounds.
But the sphere, if you think about it, the sphere is like, it's the worst for audio reverberation because sound will just bounce around all over
Okay,
the
so
place.
how do they solve that?
That's this Holoplot system.
Man.
Yeah. So they've been able to go in and they can program it so that it gets rid of any of those standing waves or any of those bounce backs that are happening.
So you said 186,000 Holoplots. How many panels? Screen-wise, do you know?
That I don't know.
Okay.
No, I'm not sure about that.
You could just make up a number. 478 million.
Billion.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Jason Dirks said that, not me. It's
crazy.
like what you're talking about there, it sounds like fantasy, right? Like that's not anything I ever imagined. Are there some other things that you're seeing on the horizon or that some companies are fabricating that maybe pushes those boundaries too, whether that's audio or visual? What other kind of stuff?
Well, so there's Infocom is a trade show that we go to every year, and we get to see the new stuff, everything that's coming out. Some neat things are the LED video wall technology. They can put it on a window, so that you can put it on a glass, and so you can have a conference room that's completely open, glass, and then you go in there for a meeting, and you don't want anybody seeing what's going on. You can change that to a static image or video or something like that, and people can't see through the glass then.
They're looking at that from the outside. They're seeing just all of a sudden a static image.
Yep.
So
From
like,
the inside, what's that look like? Can you see them looking at the wall?
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be able to see the image or anything because you're on the other side of the LEDs. Yeah. You just see through it like it's glass.
oh boy,
Imagine that one person that just
there's a lot of jokes here.
that just
We can run
staring
that
at the
to some
screen.
folks.
Oh, that'd be great.
So again, just to make sure I'm like understanding this. So in the past, we've had pieces of glass that are like conference rooms, and even like this studio has some large panes of glass on that other side. We used to have glass that you could put an electrical charge through, and it was like LCD, where it would go opaque.
Yeah.
And that's boring,
Yeah.
right? Because it just goes.
That's not cool. You can't do neat colors. You can't do
So now we can do full color images.
put your branding up there,
Man,
whatever you want to do.
I have to imagine that's maybe a little spendy. And is that something that's like sandwiched between pieces of glass? Is it a film that's over the top?
So you apply it to the glass. It'd be just like putting a film on the glass, but you'd apply it, and it's this.
Wow.
Is it a film? Like, what's the
It's got
width
it's
of it or
adhesive.
depth of it?
It comes in sheets,
Okay.
and then you butt the sheets up next to each other. They go into a similar processor like we plug this into.
that puts
Yeah.
the right amount of the image on the
Yep.
right piece of screen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I want to see this stuff. Any other cool nerd things that you're seeing at your conference?
So when you go to these conferences, they've got all this video wall technology. It looks so cool. It's so interesting. They've got an interactive one. So it's a video wall. You walk up to it, and then it's got different spots, and it's again a touch screen. You can touch a spot on it, and it'll move and adjust the wall depending on where you touch it. And so it's interactive, and it's got some AI capabilities built into it.
So you're describing a dynamic screen that moves in at least one direction?
Yeah, it moves in multiple directions as you touch it, as you do different things. It can be manipulated any way you want.
Is there a business case, or is that just cool?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is a lot of this stuff is really cool, but where are you going to use it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. Well, this is where you got to get creative, and
Kind of seems like the that camera wall where they have it in New York City right on the sidewalk, where it's like you can walk up to it and you can see people live in England. Have you seen that before?
yeah,
Like, cool idea. What is that ever going to be used for? And also, what is that thing? It's like I see the videos of it, and you see people waving high. I'm like, isn't that just FaceTime? Can't we just call people?
That kind of feels like it.
Yeah,
yeah,
but those are interesting.
Awesome.
But no real reason for why they would have that.
just for fun.
For fun.
Super trick question for you. Like, you got to sign off on this thing. Money's no object. You're in charge. What's the piece of like neat AV technology that you want to bring in like to the office or to people's homes. Just everybody should have this. It's so cool. Well, you only get one.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
It also sounds like a question that could be like somebody wants to take over the world. What do you piece of technology?
Well, I guess something that I thought was interesting, we've talked about it around the office before, is putting one of these video walls on a trailer. So that way you could pull it up somewhere. You can show videos. You have the speakers alongside. You can use the K-Array speakers. They're outdoor rated.
Yeah.
And you could have this trailer that you go around and you show off our technologies.
Yeah, you've just given the marketing group a lot of homework right there.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
With trying to keep things, a little bit compartmentalized in a timely fashion, we should sign off soon. But are there other questions that you have or other pieces you want to leave for us to get curious about? Or,
well, I guess if you see anything that I haven't mentioned, go ahead and come and mention it to us.
yeah.
So we're always looking for new stuff to put in front of clients.
And let's just give Jason's email out there for everybody.
jdirks@ecsillc.com.
That is J Dirks.
Can you also say the email for the podcast?
No, I can't.
I don't know it either.
No.
So.
Yeah.
We stopped doing that because we kept mucking it up. Well, Jason, thanks for being a little bit vulnerable. I know that you didn't want to come in here and talk a ton about you, but love your expertise on the technology side. I learned a ton. I'm excited. I can't afford that crap, but it's awesome. So thanks very much for being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. This has been
Jason.
fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.